Hey again, everyone. Thank you for joining me. There's a lot of people making a lot of content out there. So if you are still engaging in my discussions, it is still very much appreciated. So if you've been hanging around any of these channels or mine for any length of time, um, we'll just go with mine for a while. That all the narcopaths that I've known, and this is not a, it's not, I'm not taking a jab at anybody here, but they've all been female and they've all been malignant. So there's a difference between a malignant narcissist and just a narcissist. And I'd never run into just a plain old narcissist. And I want to let you know that I have recently come across one that I've had to have some dealings with. And so I want to kind of relate to you the difference between a narcissist and a malignant narcissist. And there is a big difference. Look, those of you that say just go no contact don't seem to understand that the world is full of these people and you're going to have to figure out how to deal with them at some time in your life period. You can't just go no contact all the time. I just hate that comment every time I see it, just go no contact. Especially if like you're married to one and you're in family court with one and you got kids with one and they're dragging you through the court. How do you go no contact? I mean, what kind of a wise guy tells you just go no contact when you can't? So anyhow, I have run into one that is not malignant. So I've actually got two stories I want to relay to you. It's very interesting. The spectrum of narcissism, and I'm going to try to stick to not the narcopath, the title that actually someone else came up with, the narcopath or the Norris hole. We're going to talk about them as narcissists today because one of them is um, not malignant, and the other is a male. So these are two things that are new. These are new progressions for me in the arena of narcissism. That you're not going to be able to get away from these people. There's so much of it going on that I'm sorry, you're going to have to deal with them. So you may as well keep going to the channels. Hopefully, you're not too embedded with them, and you can, if you've learned something about them and you can spot it, and then if you have to deal with them, maybe you can use some of the tools that we've learned, how not to get enmeshed and too involved with one. But anyway, as I mentioned, the narcissist that I've had to come across, I've had to have some dealings with, and I'm going to probably have to have some for quite a while, is not malignant. They don't care about other people. It's very clear that they think very little of others, but there's a component that is missing in this narcissist that I hadn't encountered before is they don't seem to have that malicious streak. That again, there's a lot of the characteristics that are there, but as far as the uh, backstabbing and you know things to try to make you do things that they want you to do, they're absent. It's very strange, but all the other characteristics are there. And I'm going to tell you, this is what finally clued me in to how this narcissist or how this person is a narcissist. I need to tell you a conversation that we had. So um, it was brought to my attention, excuse me, it was brought to my attention that there was an angry customer. And I got a physical description, not a description like a police sketch, but a description of how this customer was behaving. And it's irrelevant whether anything was done wrong or not. I, they said that he was flustered and that his face had turned red. This is all without talking about why he was actually angry. And as I listened to this person tell me, it occurred to me that they didn't really care that this customer, as a customer, so you're supposed to care, really anybody. I mean, why are you upset? What happened? And I sensed that there wasn't a whole lot of concern, and even maybe even an entertaining aspect to it, that they just didn't care. And so it kind of prompted me to ask some questions that were off topic and off of business. And I said, I want to ask you a question. Let's say somebody is upset with you, and they're upset, they're visibly upset, and maybe they're even telling you they're upset with you. And I said, how does that how does that make you feel to this narcissist? And they said, not much. They didn't really have a reaction to other people's anger. And I thought that was really, really weird because anytime someone is angry with me personally or a business level, or maybe I didn't do anything, I have a reaction to it. It triggers something with me that I want to fix that, which is a kind of a pathology in all of itself. We shouldn't really be like that. And that's my mistake. But um, I actually kind of envy the narcissist in a way that they don't seem to be affected by others in the same way. So anyway, I'm asking this question. I said, okay, so it really doesn't make you feel either way. And no, they just kind of brush it off and go on to the next topic. Well, the topic came up again, and this narcissist began to tell me, this is where it gets kind of funny. The narcissist began to tell me, um, if they've done something wrong, then they will go and fix it. And then I looked at this narcissist and I said, yeah, but the next thing out of your mouth is going to be that you don't ever do anything wrong. And they just, that's right. I don't ever do anything wrong. If I did something wrong, I would go fix it, but they never do anything wrong. They're always right. This is what finally prompted me to go ahead and label, at least in my mind, I feel like this person is a genuine narcissist, but they're missing the malignant tendencies of the narcissist that I knew before. Very strange, but they can still cause havoc, and this one still does. We're in circles that we have to be in, for the time being. I don't know exactly how long or when, but this is one of those where you can't go no contact or you're dealing with a narcissist. And if I hadn't been dealing with this subject for the last 6 or 7 years, actually longer than that, 6 or 7 on these video platforms, but really closer to 10 or 12, and even a little bit before that, I wouldn't have known how to deal with this person. So be aware, I'm wrong. You Narcissists aren't always evil. I know it's hard. It's really hard for me to wrap my head around this because the ones I knew were so. I don't really like the word that. Actually, I will use it. There is an emotional violence with the narcissist I knew. The one that I was married to, the one that I was born to, uh, the people around them, and they're all female, all of them. They're just some really nasty, nasty fucking people. But this one's just different, very strange. Doesn't care about other people that much, you can tell, but doesn't try to um, cause the havoc that they do. They cause havoc. Don't get me wrong, but that's neither here nor there. It's different. It's on a spectrum. So anyway, you can have a narcissist that's not malignant. They still cause trouble, okay? But I don't think that all of them are 100% as dangerous as the ones that I knew. There's a spectrum, okay? So if you know how to deal with them, it's gonna make you more successful, at least if you have to deal with them. You can't run away from them all the time. So that's if you can't go no contact. And if you can go no contact, do. So just don't even tell me about it. I know. So anyway, on to the second part of this that I want to talk to you about is that I told you that all the narcissists that I knew were female because of the nature of a family or how I had become involved with them in the circles. It's in your proximity to the narcissist, these narcopaths. And I hadn't ever really run into a male narcissist that I really wanted to label a narcissist, or overt narcissist. And the next bit of this video that I'm going to talk to you about, it finally occurred to me too. You'd think I'd be faster at this now, but I'm not. It really takes me some time because I'm busy behaving the way I think that people should behave. So I'm not watching it 100%, but I'm cueing in a little. I'm getting better after decades of narcissistic abuse, right? So anyway, this guy's also part of a wider family of people that I know, and very overt and always more than gregarious, and you can't get a word in edgewise, and he'll always talk over you, but that's okay because he's a friendly kind of a guy. Not really. This guy would probably do some really horrible things to you that I found out if he had the chance. Plus, he turns everything around to suit him. Every single thing has to do, somehow, he can make that situation revolve around himself. And I became disgusted. I've known him for several years, and then something started to really occur to me that was really, really strange. Is that this guy was copying me. And in more ways than one, I started to notice that he was taking on my identity. Very strange stuff, but I didn't even notice it at the time. It's only later that I think about these things. What in the hell was I looking at? And I didn't even know what it is till later. Um, and I know that imitation is like, a high form of flattery, but I don't know. In this case, it just seems really, really strange. So anyway, back, I know you'll know that I've since, if you've been around, I've shaved off my facial hair, but he had none when I first met him, and then later he would grow his exactly like mine. And I would, next time I'd go and see him, hey, all right, that looks pretty cool. Then he picked up some, I don't know, they're these fake I've got some, real. I'm not big into tattoos, but this one's very significant and very special. Or I wouldn't have gotten it, and maybe I'll tell you about that sometime. But this, and then he would have these fake tattoos. So he's got this facial hair and this tattoos, and then he'll say things like I do. And if you'll notice, sometimes I have some musical instruments and things around me. I've been a musician for a long time. Uh, he is not, but then you would go over to his garage, and he'd have things hung up and guitars and things, but he's not a musician. So I noticed this too. So he's got my facial hair. He's got the tattoos, and he's got these instruments that they're, I don't know where he got them, Goodwill or something. Anyway, so, and he's these mannerisms, and he's picking these things up, and then the final straw, that I guess not, well, straw, I guess the tell that he was doing this very strange is that the vehicle that I drive, he bought one almost exactly like it. So he's got my look, he's got my art, he's got my what I do, my hobbies, and now he's driving the same kind of car. And it didn't even occur to me until I started to put all this together that he'd been doing this, and it was odd to me. Again, very, very overt though. I think it would have been nice if he would have copied the way I mean, I have, some social skills. I know at least when to shut up, and this guy doesn't. So he didn't copy that, but he did copy everything else that was on the, that you could see, and very strange stories. So I did find a narcissist that is not malignant, and I did find a male narcissist. So gals, you can not hold it against me as much now. I know you didn't anyway, but they just happened to be the ones that I knew in the proximity. That's how it worked. So anyway, so I've got things kind of set up a little bit different. I've been having to move some things around, and I think this is going to work better. So again, I try to come to you with something interesting to say, and if you do hang out, I really do appreciate it. So I know I've been shadow banned. I know other people that have channels that have 10 times as many subscribers as I do, and their subscriber count hasn't moved one way or the other in years. So if you find me, please come back. I really do appreciate y'all. So, okay, hope y'all found that interesting, and I hope to see y'all again real soon. Thanks.